I am compelled to paint faces and figures. I've always been interested in figurative art, even since the age of 2.5. And here is the little piece I saved. My name is Kathleen Lack, and I'm a portrait and figurative artist. My greatest inspirations come from a variety of masters, including John Singer Sargent, Edgar Degas, and Edouard Vuillard. Contemporary influence have come from Kent Rupp and Chester Arnold, among others. I often refer to John Singer Sargent when I'm teaching my students the many facets of artistic expression. Here is an example of Sargent's work, El Jaleo, which is this extraordinary painting that I saw at the Isabel Stewart Museum in Boston. It inspired me to paint Sevilla, referencing a trip to Spain. I've done a number of portrait commissions, and here are some examples. When it comes to portraiture, the facial recognition is, of course, very important. The other critical element is the body language. It completes the portrait. Notice Max's stance. Talking with Max gave me the opportunity to observe his natural body position. Here is a portrait of Isabel, the artist with her violin. Yet another musical moment called chamber music. This painting shows my granddaughter, Aliyah, on the right, with her 2 girlfriends ready to go to the senior ball. I have 7 grandkids, so they often get involved in my work by being a model, or I'm finding a really cute picture of them, and so I paint them. So this next painting is of a painting that was commissioned by the Marin Museum of Contemporary Art to be a gift to Ron Collins, who was a major benefactor to the museum. I teach a class entitled The Portrait and the Figure, and I've been doing this well over 20 years. And when my students painted Zach, they loved him and they wanted to paint him again. Both of these paintings, Zach and Lulu, are backlit, which I find most appealing. In 2007, an artist friend of mine and myself wanted to paint desperately ballet dancers a la Degas. So we wondered, where are we going to go to do this? How are we going to get pictures? So we went to the Marin Ballet and made an appointment with their artistic director, Cynthia Lucas. We formed a wonderful relationship with her, resulting in the opportunity to become part of her ballet family as artists. I'm going to show you some images of the ballerinas. In these images, notice the light streaming in through the windows, creating beautiful reflections on the floors and the respective impressions of the dancers' bodies. That's where the magic of colors comes into play. In the last piece, Fixing Chignon, I loved getting the storytelling moment with these 2 dancers. One of my most recent paintings of the ballet is called Short Break. Artistic license comes into play when arranging your subjects for compositional impact. Here, I changed the center figure's static body position to a more nuanced pose in order to add a central focus to the painting. It was such a pleasure to be able to work with the Marin Ballet. I just enjoyed every minute of it. Observing my grandkids doing their artwork, it just captures my heart. When you put a paintbrush or a colored pencil or a crayon in their hands, they just make magic happen. This is what I want to get through to my students, to experiment and play with their colors and make it their own. Here are some paintings from my series From the Top, which shows those kid moments that I am able to capture with my camera and transform into paintings. Paper and Pens is that making magic moment. The Little Decorators shows my grandnieces, all 4 of them playing with their dollhouse. Building Blocks showcases my grandson's tower building expertise. And playing Monopoly has my granddaughters playing the all-time favorite. The pianist, my granddaughter on the piano, is inspired by Vuillard's use of color and pattern. Collecting leaves was really fun because I was following my grandkids around picking up fall leaves. So I caught pictures of them and was able to compose this piece with 2 kids, but there's 4 in the painting. So I had to duplicate my little kids in this painting. So you see the colors from the bottom on up to the top are all beautiful fall colors. Inspiration comes unexpectedly when I see a scene worthy of painting. I always have my camera ready. So when I saw these actors getting ready for their performance at the Marin Art Festivals, I had to run over and take pictures. These are 2 of the paintings that came out of it. So this is my newest series, and it has to do with restaurants and bakeries. So I had the pleasure of being able to go behind the scenes in a bakery in Truckee where my granddaughter was working. Here are 2 of my bakery paintings, Frosting the Cake and Happy Birthday. Chips and Salsa, this restaurant scene is very detail-oriented with lots of reflective surfaces. Very challenging. Refill, this painting has a high value contrast in it and more reflective surfaces. 3 Carnations, the hunt is on. Anticipation. The color palette in Anticipation, with the waitress in her lavender pink tie, becomes the focal point. Next, you will see some of my in-studio work with my models. I really like it when my models, whom I hire for my classes in the portrait of the figure, come with their accoutrements for a painting that tells a story. And Lee, one of my favorite models, always comes with a story. And here she is at her desk. She brought the table, she brought the pen, the paper, the clock, her dress. And this is what happened. As an instructor of life painting, my goal is to get my students to see. It is in the art of acute observation that one can learn to recognize proportions, color, value, texture, and the nuances of light upon the subject. So teaching about color, complementary colors come up. Here are 2 paintings using complementary colors. There's Rosie with her red and green, and there's Heidi in blue and orange. And this is Tabitha. This triad of deep, rich colors complements Tabitha's fair skin tones. This next painting is of Crystal. Her beautiful skin tones are enhanced by using a pale celadon color in the background. So thank you so much for watching my video. And if you have any questions or if you want to sign up for my classes, just check my website. And I do want to thank all my little grandkids for being the subjects of a lot of my paintings, and I want to thank my students for being my inspiration, because I'm always learning from them too.